So by now you probably heard that Mercury retrograde is fast approaching. And that's because we are officially in Mercury retrograde as of October 21st, the shadow period leading up to Mercury's formal retrograde on November 9th in Sagittarius. And if you're thinking, oh my God, Mercury's going back in the microwave, this is going to be terrible, well, I'm here to tell you otherwise. So yes, while Mercury can be disruptive to fast-moving communication, to daily rituals and routines, to travel, I want you to think about Mercury retrograde periods as an opportunity to recoup, redo, review, and take some much needed rest. And if you're thinking about how can I be most helpful or how can I better strategize to move the pieces forward, I'm going to be thinking about back to March. Any projects, any ideas, any conversations that may have arisen at the time, but I wasn't really ready to think about, start moving. I didn't have the structures in place. But now at this Mercury retrograde, I have more clarity. I'm caught up with how I'm feeling. I actually want to go back and actually get that implemented, pull out more life from it so that I can actually get closer to what I'm hoping for. If you're thinking about applying for a job, you're not going to apply to a brand new job. Okay, you're going to be going back to old opportunities. Maybe, you got an email from HR saying, oh, the time wasn't right now. I want you to go back and I want you to say, hey, just checking, is the time right now? Same with your creative projects. Maybe you've gotten more ideas since then that can actually give form to the actual thought early on. And what I think is really powerful about this retrograde, or Mercury retrograde, is that Jupiter will be stationing retrograde a couple of days after Mercury. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Mercury will be retrograde in Sagittarius at first before moving back into Scorpio. And this time, Jupiter isn't going to be contained by Saturn in Aries, which when Jupiter first moved into Cancer, a lot of astrologers, a lot of people were eagerly anticipating, this great benefic coming in and really bestowing a ton of blessings. But the reality is we haven't necessarily cashed in on any of those blessings. There was a lot of struggle, there was a lot of strife, and quite honestly, there was a heightened sense of lack of security and anxiety. And so now Jupiter stationing retrograde is forming a trine to Saturn and Neptune, meaning whatever goals that, again, you had thought of early this year, it's going to feel easier to attain. It could maybe even mean retrograde, a return, again, of a foregone investment, a foregone abundance, foregone opportunity this time around. So yes, Mercury retrograde, definitely move a little slower, but you can be strategic in helping work with the energy in your favor.